Trump just finished up his Univision town hall, notably the same town hall that Kamala Harris did and knocked out of the park maybe just, a week ago? While Trump doing his floundered and was unable to handle the crowd's questions. So I wanted to look over this as a comparison of the two choices we'll have in just, 3 weeks?
Could you explain your gun control policy to the parents of the victims of school shootings?
I could. We have a Second Amendment and right to bear arms, essentially. And I'm very strongly an advocate of that. I think you need that. I think that if you ever tried to get rid of it, you wouldn't be able to do it. You wouldn't be able to take away the guns because people need that for security. They need it for entertainment and for sport.
So his justification for defending guns that kill children in school shootings that directly enable mass shootings is that some people need them for entertainment and sport. I mean, wow. And this is exactly why none of these clowns are allowed to claim pro-life anymore because of this comment right here. They value guns more than children's lives. And also, the Second Amendment doesn't elaborate on what arms or to the extent of arms. If ARs are banned and you can still buy handguns, you still have the right to bear arms. It does not speak to all arms. It does not speak to any limits like that. And most people agree with this. Most sane people, if you ask them, right? Should private citizens own nukes? Should they own rocket launchers? Should they own tanks, etc.? Through this, we understand that it's not all arms because most people, unless they're so disingenuous in bad faith that they understand if they bite the bullet, they lose the entire talking point they're trying to make, right? So bad faith people are the only people who would engage in that. Anyone else is going to tell you no, like an average person should not own a nuke, right? That would be a terrible thing if private citizens could own nukes. I think we can all agree on that, right? Through this, we understand it's not all arms. The Second Amendment and all of the Bill of Rights, actually, the first 10 amendments, they were created specifically to give assurances to the states that they would still have some power when the federal government is created. This is why in the Second Amendment, it mentions a well-regulated militia because it was a right given to the state to pass on to its people to not be impeded federally, not the individual right of any person to own a gun. And there are plenty of Supreme Court cases that provide clear precedents of what I'm saying here and stating and show how restrictions for firearms still fall under the Second Amendment. Nobody argues this outside of lunatics again, and that is why banning assault weapons that are used to kill our kids should happen. Still goes with the Second Amendment, and there's no justification outside of it. But of course, Republicans are bought and paid for by the NRA, so they have to engage in these disingenuous talking points that just harm our children and more Americans.
I want to give you the opportunity to try to win back my vote. Okay. Your, let me say, action and maybe inaction during your presidency and the last few years, sort of, was a little disturbing to me. What happened during January 6th, and the fact that, you waited so long to take action while your supporters were attacking the Capitol. Coronavirus, I thought the public was misled during coronavirus, and that many more lives could have been saved if we would have been informed better. And also people in your administration who don't support you. I'm curious how people so close to you and your administration no longer want to support you, so why would I want to support you?
Okay, I just wanted to quickly jump in and say that this guy asked better questions than anybody at Fox News. And how do you think Trump responds? Is he A, apologetic, B, vengeful, C, does he deny it all, or D, all of the above? Let's find out.
The people that don't support a very small portion. We have a tremendous, about 97% of the people in the administration support me. But because it's me, somebody doesn't support, they get a little publicity. The vice president, I disagree with him on what he did. I totally disagreed with him on what he did. Very importantly, you had hundreds of thousands of people come to Washington. They didn't come because of me. They came because of the election. They thought the election was a rigged election, and that's why they came. Some of those people went down to the Capitol. I said peacefully and patriotically, nothing done wrong at all, nothing done wrong. And action was taken, strong action. Ashley Babbitt was killed. Nobody was killed. There were no guns down there. We didn't have guns. The others had guns, but we didn't have guns. And when I say we, these are people that walked down. This was a tiny percentage of the overall, which nobody sees and nobody shows. but that was a day of love from the standpoint of the millions. It's like hundreds of thousands. It could have been the largest group I've ever spoken before.
Yeah, he also told them to fight like hell and to find Mike Pence and force him to take his fake electors. Funny that he left that out there, but real quick, hundreds of officers were injured. 3 died days after because of the attack. 1 took his life because of the attack. 1 had a stroke because of the stress and strain that the attack put on him, and 1 died because of injuries that he received on the day. So like, also kind of disingenuous to say that, right? And about guns, like, first off, multiple people, I mean, there were tons of guns on the property. Multiple people have been charged and convicted for bringing firearms on Capitol grounds. There have been shown now audio releases of the police, like on their radio saying, hey, like there's people with AR-15s in the trees pointed at the Capitol. There were bombs in people's cars. And at his rally before, thousands of people were going around the metal detectors because they had guns and didn't want to set them off. And Trump was encouraging them to do so. So to believe that there were no guns is living outside of reality. Of course, though, this is the same people who say this are the ones who say like the rioters were led into the Capitol and it was actually Antifa posing as MAGA and any other lie known to man to kind of justify what their side did. So it shouldn't be a surprise that they're stooping to this low as well. But I do love the reaction from the crowd when he's lying. They're clearly not having it.